Well, hello there, Scorpio. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are doing a special reading in order to celebrate the new moon in Sagittarius. That also happens on the 12/12 portal. So this is a really important time of the year where we kind of like step into the energy of looking back over the last year and reassessing. You know, it's kind of like helping us to get ready for 2024. And this is this new moon in Sagittarius, the energy of expansion, of kind of like taking a look at 2023. What areas of your life have been going very well, and what areas of your life would you like to expand? And this new moon actually occurs in your second house of earned money and material things. So you could be taking a look at this time about how you want to expand your earned money, your value of yourself, and the value of the things that you own. And also, you know, like maybe having purchases, bigger purchases of a home, a car, those types of things in order to expand your material life. This also affects your self-confidence, okay? So the area of self-esteem is in the second house, you know, how you may want to expand your own value of yourself and put yourself out there in a more authentic way. It would also fall into this. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to first take a look at the overall energy for this portal, and this is really good for now, from like December 12th all the way until about January 12th, definitely until January 1st. So the next 3 or 4 weeks. And then we're going to take a look at how you can bring this sense of expansion into your life, what obstacles might be on your path, and specific advice from Spirit about how to add a sense of adventure to your life, because that's the Sagittarian energy, and also expand your relationships. So let's jump into it. Let's see what we have here. So your animal spirit is the raccoon, the inventor. Isn't that interesting? Because this is in your second house of earned money. For some of you, you may actually have like an invention, okay, that you are wanting to put out into the world, right? To expand your material world, your sense of earned income. So it says, decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. You have many roles and can juggle them all. So I love that energy of the raccoon, of sitting in this energy of asking yourself, well, what is it that you really want when it comes to earned money and the material things that you have in your life? What is it that you really want? And then not allowing yourself to get distracted, because raccoons can be kind of distracted by shiny objects, right? This is the energy of staying really focused and knowing that you have the ability to invent the world that you are wanting for yourself. And then you have Desert Passage. Trust there's a divine plan. Yeah, I feel like with both of these cards, there's almost a little bit of a sense of that you may feel like at this time you don't have what it is that you want in the material world, right? And so there is a sense of what is it that you really want? You may be just in a mindset of, well, what I have isn't working for me, right? Or I want more than I have. But this is getting very clear about what it is that you do want. Visualizing, creating a vision board. Especially as we get closer to January 1st, and you may be trying to start setting some goals for 2024. What is it in the material world that you would like to bring into reality as you move forward into 2024? What are those things? And then really kind of, being, I love the fact about not being a trickster, right? Understanding that you know, if you want to make more money, there may be an energy here where you have to allow yourself to not make money on the short term. They're saying short term. So trying to make a quick buck, that would be the energy, not trying to make a quick buck, but in other words, to really sit with it. What is it that you want to build? What will be sustainable for a long period of time as you move forward? Yeah, because I feel like for some of of you, you could be kind of like floating along in life. You may not have a strategic plan. And so this is the energy of creating a plan. First of all, asking yourself, what is it that you want, right? What material things are you looking for? How much money is that going to take? And then really sitting down with yourself and creating a plan. For some of you, you could be, this is so interesting. You could be trying to manifest, things in the material world into your reality. But it's almost as if you're tricking yourself. Okay, this is the trickster part. You're tricking yourself into thinking that you can just manifest it, right? Instead of, and Scorpio, you're usually very hard workers. So I'm not saying you don't work hard, but it's the energy of trying to trick yourself into thinking either that you don't really want what you do want, or that you don't have to work, or you shouldn't have to work so hard. Like it should just come in. Yeah, that is such an interesting energy here, because I think it's very layered. It's a very, yes, you're at this time. Okay, so let's get into this, because look, there is something here about it's taking longer to get to where it is that you really want to go. All right, Scorpio, sorry, I had to change the battery. I think that almost happens on every time I do a reading for you. Yeah. So once again, I just want to say, make sure you're getting enough rest. Are you sleeping well at night? There's something about that. But let's take a look at this. So you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Libra energy of justice, of finding, I think there's a little bit of energy of something that you really want is taking longer than you wanted for it to come in. This sense of balance, perhaps balance between work and play, putting a lot of time and effort into work, and then also receiving those benefits, because there's something here. You have the Devil and the Ace of Pentacles. This is the energy of, okay, Scorpio, there's just this energy of wanting like a quick fix in something, like a quick opportunity to change things around. So it's kind of like wanting a quick fix. Because you have Judgment and it's reversed. Okay, it was for some of you, Scorpio, I think one of the things is that you are focusing on the money aspect of something instead of, because the Judgment card is about your purpose. So you're focusing on the money aspect of your career or of a business that either you have started or would like to start, with the inventor energy here, right? You're focusing on the money aspect of it instead of the sense of fulfillment, okay? And so I feel like there's something about going within and asking yourself, what is it that you really and truly want? I wouldn't be surprised. There's almost this energy, because I know this is your second house of expansion, right, in the material world. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are wanting a more simple life. In other words, it's kind of like you're looking at your material things and actually asking yourself, what do I really need all of this? Or something like that, because it's almost like this energy of understanding that you kind of like allowed yourself to get into the rat race, however that might mean, that you're either like having to kind of like work really hard like a hamster on a wheel in order to pay for the things that you have in your life, or you're working really hard in order to acquire more things, and all of a sudden there's this sense of exhaustion, right? And instead of wanting to work really hard to get the short-term money, you're kind of thinking more long-term. Yeah, I think you're thinking more long-term. Like, how can I I think for some of you, you may be working really hard and just kind of like asking yourself, how can I continue to work this hard for the rest of my life, right? It's kind of like, what is really important to me? I think you're really reassessing what material things you want in this world. And for some of you, I'm not saying all of you, some of you may want more things in your life. I think for others of you, it's kind of like, how can I fine tune? How can I actually simplify my life? So let's go to the tarot. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, really interesting. So this is, what have you learned in 2023, or at least over the last 6 months? I think you've been working really hard. The Empress, you know, the energy of wanting to create something, right? Of standing in this energy. The Empress is all about building, you know, businesses. It can be mothering. It can be building a family. You know, it's all about, you know, ideas, putting ideas, creating new things, putting them out into the world. Right. And then also allowing the world to bring back monetary, you know, compensation or financial stability because of the work that you've done. But look at, you have the orphaned. I feel like for some of you, you just feel as if what you have created, okay, whether this is, you know, a family or a business or a career, you know, it could be even a project or something that you have created is having you feel unloved at this time, right? In other words, it may be bringing in money, but it's not bringing in the sense of a nurturing, loving energy. The Empress also represents mother, right? This energy of feeling loved and nurtured by your clients, by your coworkers, by your boss, by whoever, you know, is in your, especially in your career sector or the way that you make money. So it's an energy of, wow, I've created something, or, you know, I've been working to create something, but I don't have a sense of fulfillment, of joy, of happiness because of it. Yeah. Yeah. And once again, I feel like for some of you, okay, you may have tried, there is something here about trying to take, I don't think that you've taken, like you knew that you were taking a shortcut, but there is almost like this energy of, you know, let's put it this way. Perhaps you took a job, okay, because it paid more than a job that you had previously. So you took this new job, okay, but now you find yourself working all the time. You don't like the people that you work with, right? There's a lot of stress and strain. It's a toxic environment, right? You're making more money, but you're feeling, okay, very sad inside. You're feeling like, yes, this is, I don't think I can do this forever. Great, I'm making all this money, but I don't even have the time and the energy to spend it, you know? It's kind of that energy and knowing that, hey, I have to change directions. You know, I think, you know, for some of us, you know, that there is something about when you acquire something that you really want, sometimes you can all of a sudden realize, oh my goodness, this takes so much more work, or whatever it is, you know, maybe you created this business that you really wanted, right? And at first it was really exciting and all of that. You were all gangbusters about it. But now it's kind of like, yeah, it's just draining my energy. I have to go in a different direction. I have to do something different, right? So I feel like for some of you, this is the energy that you're coming into this new moon in Sagittarius. Like, how can I change, right? My material world? Whether you want to simplify your life and make less money, or if you want to just change what it is that you have in your life, you know, the sense of fulfillment in your work and all of that. So let's take a look at the area of expansion. Yeah, look at this. You have come to the edge, the Fool card, and the Knight of Swords. This is the energy. I feel like you really and truly just want to go in a different direction. You're kind of determined to make something, to make a change of some sort in your life. I absolutely love it. Now let's see what we have here. Yes, here's your energy too. You have the Death card, okay? It's been a slow death. Yeah, this could be a career that you've been in for a long time. And I know I'm a retired teacher, right? And I know that last year, it just seemed like it was 5 years, 5 years long. It wasn't about the students. I loved my students, but there was so many other things, stresses, and, kind of just, the things that were going on in the school system, right? It was just, it was kind of like a slow death. And I think that that's what you are experiencing and you're wanting, right? This Four of Wands, you're kind of like, yeah, I have to go in a different direction. You could be in a job that you loved at one time and you're just kind of like realizing, this is not what I want. Or you could even have something, material things that at one time you absolutely loved. Okay, you could have had a car that you absolutely loved, and now you're recognizing, oh my goodness, it's in the shop all the time. I'm having to put all this money into it, whatever it is. It's kind of like, yeah, this is a burden to me, right? It's a burden. I need to end this burden so that I can have this sense of happiness and joy again. Yeah. It's just like anything. Sometimes we are really excited about something and that excitement propels us through the obstacles, right? But I feel like you have something in your second house, your material things, or your earned income, your sense of self, your self-confidence, something, okay, in one of those areas is kind of draining you, and you're understanding, I have to make a change. I cannot stay in this type of energy. So let's see what the obstacle to changing is. Yeah, I feel like you have a community. So if you have a job that, you really love the people that you work with, right? You're kind of like, I don't know if I really want to make a change. So the Eight of Swords is the energy of self-doubt. I don't know. Or you could be thinking, say for instance, you have a really well-paying job, but you're just tired at the end of the day, and you're like, I cannot continue doing this, and it may mean that you want to take a job that pays less, or maybe even take early retirement or something like that. And so that it's going to change your lifestyle or the lifestyle of your family. Or you could be concerned what your extended family will think if you decide to quit this job and take a more simple life. I think for some of you, you are truly wanting a more simple life. You see how the desert passage, there's like nothing there. Wanting to simplify life. A little bit of that energy of wanting to simplify life. Of feeling like, you're just having to work so hard to keep all the, it's like you're a juggler, right? And you have like 10 balls up in the air and you just feel like, oh my goodness, I just want to break. It just never stops, right? But you could have created this reality that now you're understanding, I just don't want this anymore. Yeah, you want more balance in your work, right? And the Eight of Swords, again, is your doubt that you can balance this out. The Six of Pentacles is also that energy of the give and take, right? You may be feeling like, there's an imbalance because we had the Libra energy on the bottom, right? There's an imbalance in your earned income, right? Your material things, that there's an imbalance to it all. It would really be, let's go back to the car, like you have this car that at one time you absolutely loved, right? And it's kind of like now you're understanding, oh my goodness, this car just drains me of money. And maybe it's like an antique car or something like that. And you're kind of like, it just drains me of money. And, it was a dream of yours to refurbish an old car, and you did a great job, but now it just sits in the garage. You don't even want to take it out because every time you take it out on the road, something breaks on it or something like that, right? And it's kind of like, okay, just understanding that something has come to an end. The energy of something that you maybe enjoyed at one time has kind of come to an end, but you're afraid, a little bit fearful with the Eight of Swords, okay, of going in a new direction, of saying, okay, what I wanted before is no longer what I want now. But we also have Pluto going into Aquarius at the end of January, where that is going to change our energy completely, right? Of this sense of expansion then, of understanding that, you know, what you may have wanted at one time really and truly is no longer what you want as you move forward. Because I feel like there is something that you're trying to manifest. You're trying to expand in your life, but I think this is the sense of adventure. You know, this is advice on how to inspire a sense of adventure in your own life. It could be that maybe you have to work so hard at your job that you never get to go on vacation and really and truly enjoy yourself, right? Because you're always worried about what's going on at the office. Or it could be that you feel like, you know, you just don't get to spend money. Because this is earned money, that you don't get to spend money on other things that you would rather have. There's just this sense of burden, Scorpio. Yeah. I feel, yeah, look at this. Okay, we have observer, a change in the wind, right? I think you're changing your mind on something. Yeah, you want more connection. You want this sense, you know. It could be that maybe you've worked really hard to acquire the material things that you wanted, but they're hard to snuggle up with at night. You know, it's that energy of, yeah, I created something. I think you have created something wonderful, right? Or you've been working on creating something wonderful, but it's just not bringing you the warm and fuzzies. You know, it's the heart connection. I feel like it's bringing you the money, but not the heart connection. Yeah. And then you have, look at this. You have the Empress, the Chariot, and the Hanged Man. You've been put on hold in order for you to see, okay? Because you have the Hanged Man first. Put on hold. Seeing a new perspective. Reassessing what it is that you really and truly want in your life, right? For some of you, you know, you may be, because we have the Empress twice, you could be, you know, a mother or a parent, I should say. And, you know, you've, put so much time and energy into your career. But now what you're understanding is, yeah, I want to spend more time with my child, my baby, my children, my family, right? I want to really step into my divine feminine energy. I don't want to put so much time and effort into creating material things. It's the heart connection that I'm really looking for, right? Wanting to make progress in that area. There's something about, for some of you, especially if you're like retired or something, that type of energy of understanding that, you may want to take like these adventures, literally, traveling the world or something like that. And understanding, okay, I may have to dip into my portfolio or something or sell something in order to be able to afford this. But it's worth it because I think you're just reassessing your material things, Scorpio. And I think it's so interesting because that is not what I expected out of this. I felt like you were going to want to expand your material things. And I'm not saying that some of you may not want to expand some of your material things, but I think there is this sense of wanting to fine tune, to simplify other areas of your life. Because, how to expand your relationships or bring in new. Look at this. Looking at the patterns, okay, of what has occurred in the past. Yeah, really interesting. I think for some of you, you may be thinking about like your childhood, okay? There could be a sense of looking back at your childhood. And that especially Pluto went into Capricorn, and that is all about hard work. And that happened in 2008, so 15 years ago. Look back at 2008, how you felt about work and material things and your sense of worthiness based on how much money you earned. I feel as if that is where you are having this kind of like epiphany here at this new moon. Understanding that, in 2008, the world was totally different, right? Where you could have thought that the more money you made or the more material things you had, the more worth you had as a person, right? Or your title or where you lived or something like that, right? Had a lot to do with your worthiness. And now you're looking at it and you're, especially as Pluto is going into Aquarius, you're kind of looking at that and saying, wait a minute, I don't believe in that anymore, right? Because, you have the devil here. I think, understanding that you've been attached to something since like childhood or 2008, this idea of what your material things should be, right? And stepping into this energy of, no, that's not what I really want in my life. I think you're craving these deeper connections in your life. Yeah. Wow. And then we have the High Priestess, the Temperance. Wow. Beautiful energy. Yeah. Understanding that you've been holding yourself back. Almost like holding on to your money, thinking that when you hold on to your money, you're also holding on to what you are worth, right? Or that your worthiness is based on how much money you have. This is a fresh start. This is you deciding, no, I'm inspired to look at life in a different way. And I think over the next 6 months, you're really looking at that. What is it that I really want in the material world? And how hard am I willing, or how much time and energy am I willing to put into having that, right? Yeah, there's something here about, tapping into your higher self, understanding there's got to be more balance in your life. You definitely have that sense of balance, wanting balance. Not wanting to perhaps spend so much time working in order to pay for the things that you have, but instead having more time in order to spend with family and friends and people that you enjoy having in your life. Wow, beautiful energy, Scorpio. I really, I feel like for some of you, this comes down to your integrity, right? That trickster energy. I think you're having this epiphany that you have been tricked somehow by the people in your life or by society. You've been conditioned to think that what you own, okay, is a good indication of your worthiness, right? And you're just understanding, no, that's not true. It really and truly isn't true. So let's pull a soul truth card for you, Scorpio. And I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. So how can I be more flexible right now? Yeah, I think you're possibly a little bit determined, okay, to maybe have it all. There's a little bit of this energy of maybe wanting it all. What are you trying to control? Maybe it's time to let go. Let love move through you today and trust the outcome will be for your highest good. Yeah, I really love that. And, I don't want to, kind of like mislead you that you shouldn't want material things, because that is not the message here, Scorpio. That is definitely not the message. It's about taking a look at the material things that you own, asking yourself, do they bring you joy, right? Or are they just a lot of work? and I can say that I have, done that through the years. It's kind of like, why do I have this car? Why do I have blah, blah, blah? It just is a lot of work. It doesn't really bring me a lot of joy. It may have at one time, but it's kind of expired, and allowing yourself to know that some things can expire in our life. It's okay to say, yeah, I enjoyed that at one time. I no longer enjoy that. I'm going in this new direction. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. I do wish you so much love and light. I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.